So just a short distance from the village, I'm out in the countryside already, and it's truly a fantastic area. Just nice to walk if nothing else. But these stones that we're going to have a look at are often ignored by tourists, often ignored by visitors to Avebury, but hold a very significant part in the history of Avebury. And they've got a special thing to them too that I've noticed that I want to share with you all. So we'll carry on now across the fields and work our way towards Avebury, Truslow and the stones that we're going to go and see. And now out in the countryside you can see what a lovely area this is. It's just blissful to be out. And while I'm crossing the fields, I'm really excited about looking at these stones because they are significant, and everybody really that comes to Avebury just passes them by. Very strange. But they've been recorded and there's lots of studies done around them, but they're just a great thing to see. And we'll try and understand the environment a bit more when we get there. And with Silbury Hill in the background there, you can see just walking along this field, we can see we've got all these banks and lumps in the field here as well, which must have formed part of what we're going to go and see. Another quintessentially British thing there, the Land Rover. Obviously seen better days, or I think it's Land Rover, it might be an Austin something or other, but interesting to see on our travels, and we go through this gate here into Avebury, Truslow. I noticed this building here with thatch on it, which has seen much better days. Look at that, that would be a costly job, I'm sure. Would have been the village green, and more stones off of here as well. And just by this field here with the cows in there, we can see these stones here. Stones were broken up, put into walling and houses and everything around the 1700s, and to them it was a resource. So stones that are now missing were one time big stones that were then broken up. They used to set fires in amongst them and throw cold water on to split them down. Incredible. We carry on up here with more broken stones in walling and used for building. Let's carry on. Noticed even developments are named after the stones that we're going to go and see, which is the Long Stones or the Long Cove. The Adam and Eve stones, that's what we're going to look at. And as I walk down here, stones that I've come to see are now coming into view there in the distance. And we can see that those are the forgotten stones. And I'll explain why when we get there. But a truly incredible thing about these two. Well, here are the Adam and Eve stones, as they're called. And we'll go and have a look at them and see what we think. Impressive stones, with an impressive story behind them too. I've often, when I've walked past in the distance at various times of the day, seen faces in them, and I don't know if it's just me, but one of them does particularly look a bit like a stone from Easter Island. You can almost see a face of an animal in this one here, like a big elephant-y type thing. And then if we walk over here, just through everything, I often see the face of a man in the distance on this one. But perhaps it's just me. I think it must just be me looking at it in a strange way. No, I can sort of see the nose there and the mouth, like a side profile of a face almost. That's just been eroded by weather like that. And you can see its proximity to the other stone there. And a very interesting story behind these stones. So the long stones, Adam and Eve stones, or the Long Stone Cove. And these stones formed part of an avenue that went all the way to Avebury one side and Beckhampton the other. In the 1700s, when Stukely came and did a few drawings and looked, there were a few stones then more than there are today. When the 1800s came, the stones were just gone. People had used them for building and everything else. But amazing to think that this formed part of an avenue, and these stones are rarely visited. So they're significant stones. And Stukely did some drawings of them, which I'll put up now. And you can see that there's more stones than there are today. And that was in the 1700s. By the 1800s, most of them had gone. But Maud Cunnington, this stone fell down, I think, 1910. Re-erected the stone. Usual thing, they put it in concrete. But at least it saved it. And where it forms in the landscape is a truly impressive thing. So these form part of over 200 stones, Stukely believed, taken away for building, decimated the monument totally. But at the end of the day, we've still got something left. And I think we have to imagine how it may have been. And to imagine how things may have been is an important thing to do. And as an amateur, I shan't say historian, but an amateur guy that's interested in history, that's what I do when I come to a place. I look, I think, I evaluate with the evidence that I can see today. So it's believed that the avenue went off towards the east, which is in that direction that we're looking at over there. I'll put an arrow in there. And then in this direction to the west. And over 200 stones. Truly an incredible thing. So, with one of the stones behind me here, I've had a fantastic time, as I always do, looking at the history in the area, looking at these stones and seeing what they once formed part of. Absolutely incredible. So thank you very much for watching. And until the next time, here it comes. Goodbye.